What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Random topics. All right. So in this video right here, all right, in this video, I'm going to be talking about peace. Okay. Now, if you're new to over here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. But I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you don't like my video, you don't have to like or subscribe. I know some people always want that right there in the very beginning, but I'll let you be the judge of that, and there's no pressure over here, okay? So getting right on into it. Peace, okay? There's some noise in the back because I'm on the clock, but yeah, man, peace. So check this out. There's one thing I have learned being an adult and being 34 years old that God has given me, okay? One of the most important things in the world that I have learned is peace. You value your peace. You value it so much more when you get older. You value your peace over unnecessary drama. You value your peace over passions. You value your peace. Okay. And where I work at, there's this lady who has a lot of wisdom, because there's a lot of people where I work at, man, they're like in the 90s and 100s, man. They got so much wisdom, man. And this lady was like, she comes up to me and she was like, you know what peace is? Some people don't really know that definition. Peace is when you can dwell in the quiet and be relaxed. When you can lay in an open field and look at the stars at night. Peace is what you make it. That's what she told me. And I loved how she said it because it made so much sense. Like, you know how like when you're talking to somebody and like they got so much good, like such a good vibe off them and so much wisdom, you can just be like, just look at them and soak it all in. That's how it was for me and everything. But peace is like everything, man. And I'm gonna tell you, as a Christian, okay, anybody who's watching this as Christians, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. It's okay to cut people off. That is my main topic in this. It's okay to cut people off. All right? Especially as Christians. And it's hard for Christians, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we are, you know, we're trained, we are taught to be good people and to do the things God would want us to do, right? And let me say this. It's important to really weigh that, though, is what I'm saying. Because the Bible also says, you know, above all else, guard your heart and everything that flows through it. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to your peace is everything. Okay? And sometimes you have to cut people off. All right? And I'm going to tell you how to decipher, and you can do it however you want to do it. Or whatever, right? Now, what I mean by decipher is, okay, if you're driving, right, and you see somebody struggling with a tire, and you know you got time, pull over, help them out. That is the Christian-like thing to do. Like, if you genuinely see somebody, you physically see it, your own two eyes, help them out. If a close friend of yours hits you up, you know what I'm saying, and you know this is your actual friend, they say they need help, go help your friend. I'm talking about the people that have your information, your messenger. They don't never call you. They'll never check in on you, but they want something, okay? Now, there's three people. These three people's names will not be mentioned in this video, okay? They will not be mentioned. And at the end, like I said, you can decide whether or not if you want to like or subscribe. But in this video, like I said, man, I'm going to be pointing out these 3 individuals. And after that, I would hope, you know, you will understand where I'm coming from, because that's really the point when it comes to these YouTube videos anyway, so someone can actually understand where someone is coming from and just help each other out, man. So anyway, the first person hits me up on Messenger, right? And when he hits me up, he was like, "What's going on, man?" And I text back, I say, "Hey, how you doing?" And then he says, "Call me, I hate texting." It's okay, so now you're being demanded. But I'm still intrigued to see what you got going on. So I called him. He was like, "What's going on, man?" I was like, "Man, I'm doing good, man. Where you at?" I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "I need a ride." I was like, "I don't live in that state no more." And he kind of paused. He was like, and he started cussing. He was like, "Man, dang." And instead of him congratulating me moving, saying, "Man, hey, glad you making some moves," you know what he says? He always moving. So, you're mad because I'm not available to you. Even though you probably got something to do, which I get. You know, people got things they got to do, right? But since I'm unavailable to you, you want to be disrespectful. But I'm a Christian. And God has worked on me on how to talk to people. And that's not always easy. But my response was, I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, honestly, bro, I don't move often, man. I typically like to stay in one spot. I was like, but this one right here, this was a good move, and I'm happy about it. Yeah. I got you, man. You know, I catch you around, man. I catch you around. I see you later. Instantly hung up. Now, you ain't never catch me around, and you ain't never seen me later. Never. So you know what I did? I blocked them. Now this next person that I blocked, the first one was easy, but the second one, this one was like, dang, man. And each person that I blocked, man, it slowly hurt my heart. I'm not gonna lie. So this next person I was shocked. All right, and she was an actual female. Okay, but what she did was very sneaky and very disrespectful. Okay, so she hits me up at 3:00 in the morning, asking for a favor. Okay, so what she did, she called me. When I'm looking, I'm like, "Oh, this is such and such." But they never called me, and then they hang up. And then she was like, "Hey, I'm out of town. I'm stuck, and I need to get a lift. You know, don't mean to be disrespectful. Don't mean to call around this time, but I'm stuck, and I need a lift." Okay. So when I saw that message, I was like, all right. Now, the fact that you are the opposite sex, okay, and to give you a little background about this female, I had turned her down, I think it might have been 2 years ago. I turned her down because I told her, I'm married, you know, and married men, we have to do that, especially God-fearing men. When you're a God-fearing man, here's the thing. God-fearing men, they don't even give women that type of energy. Like, I was not giving her no way to come at me. You know what I'm saying? But she just liked me. And I respectfully turned her down and everything. But I actually grew up with this. I actually grew up with her, man. So, and everything like that. And I wasn't a butthole about it. And she never came on me or anything else after that, especially after I told her I was married, right? Because like I said, when you're a God-fearing man, women find that attractive to see how you acknowledge your wife, how you take care of your family. They find that attractive and everything. But you're married, so I'm off. You know, I'm off the radar. Anyway, I was like, you know better than that. You don't never hit a married man up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Never hit up a married man at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't do that. Not married men. So I'm like, you know I'm married. That's why you said not to be disrespectful, but you was already being disrespectful by calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know I'm married. So not only was you doing that, you was being sneaky. You wanted to piss my wife off. You did. You wanted to get under my wife's skin. You know what I'm saying? Now, thankfully, she wasn't even around. I was actually on the clock. But I was just like, man, you can't do that. And my response wasn't rude or anything like that. It could have been. I could have been like, with all due respect, don't hit me up at this time of the night or whatever. But I was like, I'm sorry about your situation. Unfortunately, I don't have any money on me. The response was cold. It was like, okay, that was it. So you know what I did after that? Because I actually thought that she respected that. I actually, the first time, when I told her, everything, I'm married and everything like that, but the fact that you hit me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and even though you needed something, right, it was still wrong of you to hit me up after you know where I stood. Ladies don't ever hit a married man up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't do that. I don't care how much you like him. You don't never hit a married man at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know what I did? I blocked her. It hurt me to block her. I was like, dang. Because I actually thought, we was on respectful terms. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you did that, blocked her. Now, this third person, it hurt me to do it too. Because I actually was cool with this guy. But I noticed something. He always hits me up when he needs something. If it's like if he wants me as a reference, he'll hit me up and I'll do it for him. If he need a ride, I look out for him. I've done that for him plenty of times. No problem. But he always needed something. So then he calls me up and he's like, what's going on, man? How you doing? And then back in my mind, I'm like, he needs something. He's like, you got a jack? I was like, yeah, I got a jack. He said, where you at? And I smiled. I was like, I'm out of town. Really? How far are you out? I was like, an hour and 48 minutes. He was like, I ain't gonna ask you to come all the way that far, man. And I appreciate him saying that. I will acknowledge that he did do that. But what got under my skin, he was like, yeah, man. He was like, all right, man, well, I'll talk to you soon. I'll check in on you later. You ain't never checked in on me later. And you ain't never talked to me soon. And I thought about that thing. When I got off the phone with him, I was like, did he really just say he'll check in on me later? After he know he ain't never checked in on me? I thought about all the times I looked out for this guy, man. And you know what I did? I blocked him. Now, he needed help. All three of these people needed help. Now, somebody looking at this video and say, hey, you're a Christian. You should have helped them out, right? Just because you're a Christian does not mean you have to help somebody, because all three of these people was invading my peace. They was invading my peace. And one of the things that you got to do when it comes to your peace, you got to cut people off. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I know somebody who's looking at this, well, being a Christian means helping someone out and not asking nothing in return. That is very true. However, if you're seeing repeated cycles in people, and people only want you when they want you, you have to protect your peace. There's nothing wrong protecting yourself as a Christian. Nothing wrong with it. I used to think that something was wrong with it for me, because I was like, man, like, I want to be helpful to people. But then it was like, but sometimes people take your kindness with weakness. You can be righteous and say no. You can be righteous and say yes. You can be righteous when you say maybe. But all my answers, I made sure I had peace. Because even though my answers were respectful, they were respectful. And I could have been a butthole, but what that would have did? That would have invaded my peace. I'd have been cussing out somebody that didn't deserve my energy. So like I said before, when it comes to your peace is everything. All right? It's everything. So just keep that in mind. I hope this helped out somebody. And you guys, y'all take it easy. All right? Take care.